Hi, this is Attorney Mike Gravelin coming to you from Chicago, and today we're going to talk about Better Call Saul Season 3, Episode 3. It's called Sunk Costs, and it's good stuff. We're going to have an extra feature on this particular video. I had some very good commenters who pointed out some of my errors, so we're going to have fun fixing those, and as also the plot comes to a point where it becomes glaringly obvious. So settle in, we're about to have some fun. Let's do this, shall we? This first bit is really cool. It's just real manly stuff. It's Mike talking to Gus and setting up a very, very important meeting.
May I assume that you are armed?
Yes.
I do not wish to see your gun. And if I don't, I promise you won't see mine. Are we in agreement?
We are.
This meeting is very cool. And it also forces me to set the record straight on some prior errors.
You care to elaborate?
It's not in my interest for Hector Salamanca to die at this time.
Okay, so in a previous video, I claimed that this don't note was written by Nacho, but thankfully I've got sharp commenters like Our Correct Opinions who quickly pointed out to me that I was wrong about this. While we're at it, I was also told that it's Salamanca, not Salamanco, and of course I kicked this whole thing off by calling Tuco Tico for reasons I don't know. But I'm sure there'll be more. That's why I created a graphic. Unfortunately, I'm sure I'll use it again. Back to the good stuff. Here is the meeting between Mike and Gus, and they're just kind of figuring each other out. It's pretty cool.
Who was he to you?
We had a disagreement. He threatened my family. I'm not going to let that go.
But you had let it go. You'd taken his money. Your family was no longer in danger. And yet...
This is another good bit where Gus tells Mike, you know, I can't be having you actually kill Hector. But if you annoy him, I'm good with that.
I can't allow you to kill Hector. However, I am not completely unsympathetic to your sense of justice. You hurt Hector when you robbed that truck. You hurt his business, his pride.
Here we finally get around to the real purpose of the meeting, and Mike restates it openly.
And if you were to hurt him in the same manner again, I would not stand in your way.
You want me to rob another truck?
If you feel so inclined.
I'm done with that.
Well, this is a great scene, and it ends with this little clip right here, which is excellent, but all of it is a long-winded way of getting around to we have a common enemy.
You want his trucks hit because you want to disrupt his supply line. Hector's your competition.
Why do you ask?
Because I'm not done with Hector Salamanca.
Okay, now we go back to Chuck and Jimmy, and they are having a serious discussion about recent events.
Whatever you think of me, whatever colorful names you're calling me in your head right now, please understand I'm trying to help you. Here's what's going to happen. The police will arrest you, and I'm sorry, but I will be pressing charges. I told you there would be consequences.
Finally, Jimmy has had enough and tells Chuck what he really thinks.
Here's what's going to happen. One day you're going to get sick again. One of your employees is going to find you curled up in that space blanket, take you to the hospital, hook you up to those machines that beep and...
Yep.
And this time it'll be too much. And you will die there, alone.
So Jimmy has to make the perp walk into booking.
Hurry down,
So, of course, one of the first people Jimmy runs into during this process is the prosecutor that he spent a lot of time wheeling and dealing with, and he comes in just to check out the situation.
Holy hell! I thought they were bullshitting me. How the mighty have fallen. What the hell happened, man?
Nothing, just family trouble.
You're married?
I have a soft spot for this prosecutor. I just find him pretty funny every time, and his continuation here sets up my favorite line for this episode. It's not a big comedy episode. It's more on the drama side, but there's lots of good comedy. It's just milder in form, and this is a good bit.
So you got representing him?
I'll be representing myself.
Sign here.
Oh, Ron. Of course, I knew that when you left that sweet Davison, Maine gig.
Of course, that's not the end of the harassment from the prosecutor, but he is charming.
Hey, who do you think's going to catch this?
It depends on who's available when it comes in.
Face me.
You think you might be available?
Run your hand through your hair,
Come on.
please.
Don't you want to throw the book at me for old time's sake?
I'll see if I can work some magic. But those decisions are really above my pay grade.
Oh, yeah? When did they start paying you?
Finally, we see, after enjoying this a little too much, the prosecutor's actually a pretty good guy.
Jimmy McGill getting fingerprinted with the hoi polloi.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the show.
I'll check and see if I can get your first appearance moved up.
Thank you.
It's pretty late. Chances are you're spending the night.
So Jimmy's forced to make his first court appearance in an orange jumpsuit.
Got CR 2003-113-081.
James McGill.
Yes, Your Honor.
Not how I'm used to seeing you in here, Mr. McGill.
Not how I'd like to be seen.
And they immediately proceed to arraignment on the charges from the incident at Chuck's. And as usual, all of this is absolutely correct. You sort of have a boring, empty courtroom and the judge that knows what she's doing. And this is, it's simple, but it's all just very well done and very realistic.
Okay. Mr. McGill, you've been accused of fourth-degree felony breaking and entering, which carries a maximum sentence of 18 months and a $5,000 fine. We've also got petty misdemeanor assault.
More of this just reasonable stuff. The judge is, of course, disgusted. She's probably familiar with Chuck because he practices in the area. She's certainly familiar with Jimmy. But she's going through the arraignment process and asks him for a plea, and he knows what to do because he's an attorney. He's done it, so he gives his plea.
Seriously? I assume you're prepared to enter a plea at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. I wish to enter a plea of not guilty.
So Kim shows up to save the day, but Jimmy refuses her help.
Now, Mr. McGill, have you secured counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. Kim Wexler. I'll be representing Mr. McGill in this matter.
Just in time. Let's enter Ms. Wexler as the attorney of record.
Your Honor, if I may, I'll be representing myself.
All of this is so well done. When Kim comes in and asks to speak to him, but of course he's not her client. And the judge thinks it's a fabulous idea that Kim would enter an appearance, and the judge would like to help, and Kim would like to help, but Jimmy's not allowing it.
Advise against that, Mr. McGill. You know what they say about a man who represents himself.
I'm aware, but as you know, I've defended many people in the criminal justice
Your
system.
Honor, may I have a moment to speak with my client?
Sounds like he's not your client.
So Jimmy obviously bonds out and is back in court. He runs into the prosecutor and tries to pump him for information as to who's handling the case. He's hoping it's somebody he knows so that he can get a break. He does find out that they're going to ship that prosecution off because everybody knows Jimmy. But that doesn't stop the prosecutor from being funny and getting a hamburger out of the deal.
Burger's getting cold.
You want it?
Yeah?
There's too many trans fats.
Those are the best fats.
So here we have a little meeting with Chuck and the prosecutor that was assigned to the case, and at the end of it, Chuck comes up with a new plan.
Well, he's emotional. He flies off the handle.
I understand, but this is more than flying off the handle.
I'm not going to defend his actions, but I can't help wondering if there's not a better solution for everyone.
Meanwhile, Mike is still harassing Hector Salamanca. He comes up with a plan. It's pretty intricate and involved, but it's pretty cool to watch. It involves him making what I would think is a hard shot. I don't know if we have any gun people on here. Maybe they can tell me, but it seems like it would be a tough shot. But you see what happens here. Of course, Mike's plan works to a T, and his unconventional way of planting drugs on this truck seems to have worked.
Looks like we got a hit.
Okay, so we find out what Chuck's game is here. He wants to do a PPD, which is a pre-prosecution diversion. But what he's really looking for is to get Jimmy's law license taken from him. He wants him to plead guilty to a felony, and that's, you know, I'm not an expert on the area, but I would think that's goes a long way towards getting rid of your law license, if not an absolute slam dunk on that front. So he tells Kim about it right here.
Game. One condition of the PPD is that my written confession is immediately submitted to the New Mexico Bar Association.
Your written felony confession.
Yeah, I thought he wanted me in jail. He just wants my law license.
So Jimmy and Kim have this very touching moment. Of course, this comes right on the heels of him refusing to allow her to represent him in the case, although that case is potentially gone if he wants to do this this PPD, but you know, obviously he wants to keep his license, so they're going to have to fight it.
You can fight this. The disciplinary board listens to extenuating circumstances.
Chuck knows everybody at the bar. Hell, he made half their careers. It's going to be him and his cronies versus me, alone.
Not alone.
The takeaway here is that Jimmy's license is on the line, and he's willing to fight for it, and Kim's willing to stand behind him. That's the biggest part of this. Mike has now met Gus. That's a big deal, and he continues to harass Hector Salamanca. Also, I managed to correct some errors from the first couple of seasons of videos, and in all seriousness, if you see anything else or any other comments or suggestions or errors, point them out to me. I love it. If it makes me feel like I'm watching the show with a bunch of other fellow fans. It's fun. Here at Law Talk, we do a lot of videos answering common legal questions. We also do reviews of law in the movies and then on TV. We also share some of our more interesting cases. We're always putting out new videos. So if you like that, please hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell.